how do we create an environment where the well-being of the student, the child that's playing sports, is at the center. The research shows that in order for a child to feel like safe in that environment, they need to feel like they're welcome, that they have a connection, that they're being valued, that they're being seen and they're being heard. So we want to give coaches the tools to create that environment. And that can be everything from how do you talk about winning? How do you talk about competition? How do you define success? We want to go from people thinking about winning where it is the results on the scoreboard, comparing yourself to others, mistakes are a bad thing. We want to shift to a more mastery environment where you're focusing on effort, you're focusing on learning, and you're focusing on how do you bounce back from mistakes and that resilience and learning from adversity, those types of things. And then we're going to equip the coaches with how they can actually do that in a practice or a game, what we call filling the emotional tank. And that is really communication between a coach and a child, a coach and a parent and a child, because we know that we all have emotional tanks, right? You and me, right, Raul, depending on what's happened in our day to day or how we're feeling, we could have a full tank, we could have, an empty tank. And just like a gas tank in a car, like if your tank is empty, you're not going to go very far, right? How we're giving them feedback, how we're coaching them, what are tools, like what are nonverbals, what are the impact that they have on our kids. So I think it's those types of tools that we're trying to give to our coaches so that they feel equipped and empowered to have those types of conversations with kids that, and develop the relationships with the parents and families so that it is a good environment where kids want to come back, honoring the game, which is really closely around sportsmanship, respecting the rules, opponents, officials, teammates, and yourself. That's something you can teach to kindergartners, and you can teach that to professional athletes as well, right? Those are things that go across, all levels of the game. And we do this by partnering with, grassroots organizations, national organizations. We have these workshops that are both live, in person, interactive. We have them via Zoom, where it's still very interactive, but it can be virtual. And then we have self-paced courses as well, where people can do that asynchronously and get certified through PCA. But we don't just focus on the coaches, because coaches is one piece of this ecosystem within youth and high school sports. We also have training for organizational leaders, parents, student athletes, where we really focus on character and leadership development, because we know that if you don't have everybody aligned, it's really hard to change the culture. So we need to make sure that everybody has a seat at the table and they can figure out what their role is and how they impact the overall experience.